Hello and welcome to the November 20th edition of the Thursday Night Thunder podcast with AJ and MMK. This is about 32 of the series. I'm your host, Adam Jason Sinclair, and tonight on the most hardcore motorsports show on the internet, Michael and I will once again bring you the best discussion about the world of modern auto racing and beyond. NASCAR has released official start times and networks for the 2026 season for three national series. Fox kicks off the NASCAR Cup Series season at Bowman Gray Stadium on Sunday, February 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Its first FS1 events are Daytona 500 qualifying on Wednesday, February 11th at 8 p.m. and the Daytona Duel Thursday, February 12th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That set the field for the Daytona 500 on Fox, which is on Sunday, February 15th at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. New additions to the Fox slate include Watkins Glen International on Sunday, May 10th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on FS1, and the first NASCAR All-Star Race at Dover, Sunday, May 17th, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on FS1. Races on Fox include the Echo Park Speedway in Atlanta, Sunday, February 22nd at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, Circuit of the Americas on Sunday, March 1st at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, and the Kansas Speedway, Sunday, April 19th at 2 p.m., and Talladega, Sunday, April 26th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time.
Prime Video opens its second NASCAR season at Charlotte Motor Speedway Sunday, May 24th at 6 p.m. Eastern. It returns to Nashville Superspeedway Sunday, May 31st at 7 p.m. Eastern, and Michigan International Speedway Sunday, June 7th at 3 p.m. Eastern, and Pocono Raceway Sunday, June 14th, 3 p.m. Eastern. Prime Video concludes its portion of the schedule with the new street course, even in San Diego's naval base Coronado, Sunday, June 21st at 4 p.m. Eastern. TNT Sports takes the reins at Sonoma Raceway Sunday, June 28th at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, kicking off the second in-season challenge before the NASCAR Cup Series returns to Chicagoland Speedway Sunday, July 5th, 6 p.m. Eastern, for the first time since 2019. TNT will also head back to Echo Park Speedway in Atlanta Sunday, July 12th at 7 p.m. Eastern, broadcast the first points paying event at North Wilkesboro Speedway Sunday, July 19th at 7 p.m. Since 1996, Since 1996, in travel to Indianapolis Motor Speedway Sunday, July 26th, 2 p.m. I'm sorry, that was a lot, and I really screwed that up. I'm sorry.
USA Sports will close out the season, airing 14 final races across USA Network, NBC, and Peacock, starting with the Iowa Speedway on USA Network on Sunday, August 9th at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. After the regular season finale at Daytona National Speedway on Saturday, the 29th of August at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, which is being aired on NBC and Peacock, USA Sports is home to the entire NASCAR Cup Series playoffs and will conclude the season on NBC and Peacock with Talladega Superspeedway on Sunday, October 25th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, followed by Martinsville Speedway on Sunday, November 1st at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and then the return of NASCAR Championship to the Homestead Miami Speedway on Sunday, November 8th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. This will be the first time since 2019 the season has ended in Homestead. The CW network returns following a historic first season as the exclusive destination for the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series at Daytona International Speedway, Saturday, February 14th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. I've always thought it's odd that they have a race on Valentine's Day at 5 p.m., but whatever, that's how it goes. Highlights of the 33-race slate include the return to Rockingham Speedway over Easter weekend, Saturday, April 4th at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. San Diego on Saturday, June 20th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and the championship at Homestead Miami on Sunday, November 7th, at 5 p.m. Eastern Time.
Fox Sports remains the home of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series and will broadcast 23 races on FS1. 2 additional races will air on Fox, including the inaugural Grand Prix at St. Petersburg, which is Saturday, February 28th at 12 p.m. Eastern, and the Charlotte Roval Playoff Race, which is Friday, October 9th, 5 p.m. Eastern. Announced previously, Fox will air all 20 ARCA Menards Series races between Fox, FS1, and FS2, beginning with the season opener at Daytona International Speedway, Saturday, February 14th at 12 p.m. Eastern on Fox.
Are you a race car driver, crew chief, pit member, track owner? Maybe you're just a fan of the sport. Contact us to get your spot on the show. After all, you deserve your 15 minutes of fame, and we'd love to hear from you. Easiest way to do that is to go on the website, which is thursdaynightthunderpodcast.podbean.com. Find contact information there. Just updated that recently, so it's easier to find there than anywhere else. You can also go to the Facebook page if you want, facebook.com/SD Thursday Night Thunder. Set to celebrate its 75th anniversary season in 2026, the NHRA is thrilled to announce the Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series schedule for next year.
The series, which showcases the best and most decorated sportsman drivers in drag racing, will compete at standout facilities across the United States and Canada, and the schedule features several exciting highlights for the 2026 season, including 47 divisional events, including 14 double divisional events, 3 Sports Nationals events, up from 2 last year, and featuring stops at Mission Raceway Park in Canada, which will hold the first ever Canadian Sports Nationals, No Problem Raceway for the Laris Motorsports Insurance Cajun NHRA Sportsman Nationals, and the JAG Sports Nationals at Beach Bend Raceway. The 2026 Snyder Family NHRA Sportsman event at In-N-Out Burger Pomona Drag Strip divisional event as part of NHRA's 75th anniversary celebration. SRCA Drag Strip in Great Bend, Kansas, I think, returns to the West Central Division schedule, and Sonoma Raceway returns to the Pacific Division schedule. Maryland International Raceway returns to the LODRS schedule and is set to host a double divisional. 24 top alcohol, dragster, and funny car events, featuring a new format for the 2026 season that includes a combination of national and regional events to determine regional champions. And the annual Stampede of Speed at the Texas Motorplex will kick off with a top alcohol only event.
The 2026 NHRA Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series season is set to start February 21st and 22nd at Firebird Motorsports Park in Phoenix, and will also include 24 regional events, with the season finale taking place November 5th through the 8th at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and then November 12th through 15th at the In-N-Out Burger NHRA Finals. Hopefully they're able to run them next year. It was really bad that they weren't able to run the event this year, but we'll get into that in a few minutes. The 14 double divisional races will take place at South Georgia Motorsports Park April 9th through the 12th, followed by the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway April 16th through the 19th, Texas Motorplex May 14th through the 17th, Summit Motorsports Park June 18th through the 21st, Maryland International Raceway June 18th through the 21st, Yellowstone Drag Strip June 25th through the 28th, SRCA Drag Strip July 9th through the 12th, Numidia Dragway July 23rd through 26th, Woodburn Drag Strip, July 30th through August 2nd. Brainerd International Raceway, August 13th through the 16th. Osage Casino at Tulsa Raceway Park, September 17th through the 20th. Famoso Drag Strip, September 24th through the 27th. Worldwide Technology Raceway, October 7th through the 10th. And Rockingham Dragway, October 22nd through the 25th.
As part of the doubleheader divisional events, NHRA is set to return to historic SRCA Drag Strip, which hosted the first NHRA national event in 1955. Several divisional events, including the return of Sonoma to the divisional schedule, as well as races in Gainesville, Brainerd, Norwalk, St. Louis, the Fall Dallas race, and Las Vegas, will occur either the weekend before or after an NHRA national event to help with racer travel and scheduling efficiencies. The Laris Motorsports Insurance Cajun NHRA Sports Nationals has enjoyed a thrilling return to No Problem Raceway in Belle Rosa, LA, and Louisiana, I think. And takes place March 27th through the 29th, with the divisional event on March 25th through the 26th.
The JAG Sports Nationals, which has been a longtime staple of the NHRA Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series circuit, will take place May 21st through the 24th as part of a massive weekend at the Beach Bend Raceway. Making a first-time appearance in Canada, the Sports National kicks off a big weekend at Mission Raceway Park, taking place June 11th through the 12th, before a divisional event on June 13th and 14th. The 24 regional events during the 2026 Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series will showcase the exciting racing in the Top Alcohol Dragster and Top Alcohol Fine Car classes, giving fans a chance to watch cars running in excess of 250 miles per hour. Like previous years, NHRA will stream several Lucas Oil Drag Racing divisional races on either NHRA.tv or the NHRA YouTube page, free, during the 2026 campaign, including action from all 7 NHRA divisions. A full broadcast schedule will be released soon.
NASCAR has revealed the 2026 NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour schedule, a 16-race slate that blends tradition, competition, and fan-favorite venues. The new season marks the highly anticipated return of Stafford Speedway and Oxford Plains Speedway, while the championship finale moves back to its storied home at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. The tour will once again kick off at New Smyrna Speedway on Saturday, February 7th, marking the fifth straight year the high-powered modifieds will open their season at the 0.48-mile Florida Oval near NASCAR headquarters.
I'm actually planning on attending that race, so it should be a good event. They don't have tickets up for sale yet, but look for them in the next 2 weeks. I'll go ahead and post that on the Facebook page as soon as they're available. From there, the series will appear on some NASCAR's biggest weekends. On Friday, March 27th, the tour will set stage at Martinsville Speedway, opening a weekend that includes the NASCAR Xfinity Series and NASCAR Cup Series. Later in the season, on Saturday, August 22nd, the Modifieds will headline the NASCAR weekend at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Two beloved tracks make their long-awaited returns in 2026. Oxford Plains Speedway rejoins the tour for the first time since 1991, with a race on May 2nd, while Stafford Speedway returns on August 28th with a Riverhead Building Supply 150 for the first time since 2021.
The 2026 calendar also features the return of White Mountain Motorsports Park, June 20th, the Monadnock Speedway, July 25th, and Oswego Speedway, September 5th, all familiar stops for the tour's loyal fan base. Claremont Motorsports Park is also back on the schedule for the first time since 2022. Classic short tracks remain the heartbeat of the series. Seekonk Speedway, Massachusetts will host races on May 16th and July 1st. Riverhead Raceway in New York will stage events on May 30th and September 19th. Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park in Connecticut returns with three marquee events. The Icebreaker on April 12th, a midsummer midweek race on August 5th, and the tour's season finale on October 11th as part of the World Series of Speedway Racing. While eyes turn to 2026, the 2025 Whelen Modified Tour title will be decided tonight at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia for racing Speedway in Virginia for the Racing Lovers 200. That begins at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, live on Flow Racing.
You can probably catch that on YouTube because I think that's already well underway anyway by the time you're done with the show, so be sure to watch that on YouTube tomorrow. Austin Beers entered the finale with a 14-point lead over Justin Bonsignor and can clinch his first series championship by finishing 8th or better. Bonsignor, the defending Martinsville winner, would look to spoil the celebration at the historic 0.526 mile oval. Fan can watch the season finale on Flow Racing, of course, and watch the complete schedule and ticket details at NASCAR.com/Whelen-Modified-Tour.
More IMSA content is headed to the airwaves with Lamborghini Super Trofeo North America 2025 race broadcast joining the Racer Network. 5 one-hour shows are set for the balance of fall on Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern, with the first show airing on Thursday, October 16th. The first one-hour show covers the 2025 Lamborghini Super Trofeo season opening doubleheader weekend from Sebring International Raceway to air on Thursday, October 16th at 10 p.m. Eastern.
From there, Racer Network will air race weekends from WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, October 23rd, Watkins Glen International, October 30th, and Road America, November 6th, for the next 3 Thursday nights. After a week break, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway rounds, which capped off the North America portion of the season, will air on November 20th. The championship battle has been intense across the 4 Lamborghini Super Trofeo classes. Pro-Am and LB Cup through the opening 5 race weekends and 10 races thus far. The season concludes with Lamborghini Super Trofeo Road Finals event in Messino, Italy in November, with the last 2 North American rounds, November 6th through 7th, and the World Finals, which were November 8th and 9th.
Racer acquired the former MAV TV in March 2025 and rebranded it as Racer Network as part of the longtime motorsports media platform. Racer Magazine, the origin company, was founded in 1992. Per the Racer Network, the TV network, and its recently launched app will combine to broadcast 300 plus live races in 2025, along with race highlight shows, race talk shows, and additional racing programs, racing programming, car collecting, auction, and building shows, automotive documentaries, and lifestyle series, which align with Racer's expansion into the motorsports adjacent sectors of performance, automotive car culture, car collecting, and off-road. Lamborghini Super Trofeo North America broadcast schedule on Racer Network. October 16th at Sebring International Raceway, 10 p.m. Eastern. October 23rd at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, 10 p.m. Eastern. October 30th, Watkins Glen International, 10 p.m. Eastern. November 6th, Road America, 10 p.m. Eastern. And November 20th, Indianapolis Motor Speedway at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Now, that's a lot of information to take in, but there's an awful lot of scheduling announcements that have taken place the past few weeks, and I just wanted to recap those right here. There's others I posted on the website. Check those out at motorsportsnewsandviews.wordpress.com. I also posted a lot of information today about the Formula One race in Las Vegas, which kicked off today officially. This was the first on-track day. I think they've got some events scheduled there for later this evening. I don't think they're actually going to be on the air, but if you're in town, be sure to let us know how it is, because I'd love to hear from it. As I said, I did have the opportunity to head out there, but my foot just doesn't want me to go. So I'm not going to be going this year, but hopefully next year I'll get a chance to head out to Las Vegas. That'd be pretty awesome. Today there were some major announcements, sponsor announcements, mostly from T-Mobile. You can check that out at motorsportsnewsviews.wordpress.com. They made two major announcements about that today, so be sure to check that out. There's also a lot of great ticket options still available, some awesome seating and specialty hospitality options in all different hotels and resorts. Be sure to check those out. I've got a lot of information about that on the website as well. So it should be a really good weekend of racing. I think the weather's going to be okay. There was some question about that earlier in the week, but it looks like the weather's going to be good there. A little chilly, I suppose, but not too bad. Very clear. Last weekend they got some rain, so I'm sure they're happy that the weather's cleared this week. It should be a good weekend for Formula One racing. Be sure to check that out. Like I said, there's nothing on TV this week. Today, I think there might be a little bit of coverage tomorrow. If you find it, probably on Sky Sports F1. They've got more information than they have in the domestic market here. But this weekend, of course, check it out on ESPN. They just posted their information on their ESPN webpage. There's also, if you can search for that schedule, you can find that as well. You planning on watching any of the Formula One race this weekend?
I kind of thought Formula One was. I shouldn't say over. I just, Formula One, they go kind of a lot longer than NASCAR, don't they? Didn't NASCAR? I mean, I know NASCAR just ended, but
Yep.
how come Formula One can go kind of long? Like, do they do kind of good in the cold weather and stuff? Are they kind of cars that can do good in kind of anything?
Sometimes, but the latter part of the season they race in a lot of warm weather climates, which is why they're in Las Vegas in the middle of the night, which is why they're in the Middle East for some of their other last few races. So I think they work around the weather. They try to anyway. Doesn't always work out, but they try to. Plus, they have a heck of a summer break. They take I think they take like 3 months off in the middle of the summer. So.
Oh, wow. Well, I would like to. Is it the Las Vegas race? Is that really? Okay, well, I would really like to catch some of the Las Vegas race. What about you? Are you going to catch any of it or thinking about it?
I'm trying. I'll try to. It really depends on timing, because I know that like I said, the Las Vegas race, it takes place at a really weird hour, but I know they're going to replay it. So I'll try to watch some of the highlights anyway. It should be pretty good. And like I said, I had the opportunity to head out there, but it just didn't work out. But they are feeding me a lot of information, so that's a good thing. And like I said, I'm trying to share that with all you guys on the motorsportsnewsandviews.wordpress.com page. I put out a heck of a lot of Formula One information today, so be sure to check that out. There's also, like I stated, I'm planning on heading up to the to the New Smyrna Speedway for the modified race. I called them today because I wanted to try and see if tickets were available. They are not, but they were very polite, and they let me know they'll either be available next week or the following week. They have to do some adding. They're working on some sponsorship announcements and some other scheduling issues. So they want to finalize that before they get the tickets fully online. But the race is on the 7th. It is the second night of the World Series of Asphalt Racing, which if you haven't ever been to the World Series of Asphalt Racing there at New Smyrna, why not? It's really an awesome race. It's actually like a week-long racing event. So they've got all sorts of different classes of asphalt cars, from stock cars to modifieds, of course, to super stocks and late models and all sorts of amazing stock cars out there. So it should be a really good week of racing. I'm planning on hitting at least one night, possibly two. And like I said, they're going to have the information online in about 2 weeks. They've got the schedule now, but they don't have tickets available yet. Be sure to check that out. New Smyrna Speedway.
Well, that will be really interesting. I didn't know that they did like, I mean, it kind of almost reminds me of like the World of Outlaws kind of. I think that's kind of cool that they can get all these cars and stuff together and do just kind of one big giant race. That's really cool. And I think you're going to have fun. I think I'm a little bit jealous.
It's been more than a few years since I've headed up there, so I wanted to do something different. Like I told you earlier today, I'm trying to think of a few different things to do for next year, and I think that'll be a good one to head up for. It's not really that far. Hopefully by that time I'm able to drive. If not, I'll figure out how to get there. But it'll it's not that far. I got the hotel booked, all ready to go. So if you're out there, I'm already contacting a few different people to meet me up there, including View from the Cheap Seats, Kyle there, we've had on the show a couple times. He hopefully will be up there for that. Talked to Rowdy Maglite. If you follow any of the Rowdy Maglite racing, he used to be part of the Speedway Digest Network as well, but he left them a little bit before we did. So he'll be up there for that event as well. So it should be a good time for the media people who I haven't seen in a little while, and it should be a good race too. Last time I was there, I actually got to see Mike Skinner run, which is pretty awesome. And a few different other people's names you don't recognize at the time when they're running around, but then a year or two later you see their names on TV, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I haven't heard that name in such a long time, Mike Skinner.
Yeah, he was there. That was I think 5 years ago maybe, but he has a house in the New Smyrna area. He actually lives in the house that used to be John Travolta's house at these
wow.
fly in. So because he enjoys airplanes as well. So, and he has the race teams that he works with, all smaller type teams. I don't know if he races anymore. I'm sure he does at least every so often because he's in his 60s, I suppose. But he's not ancient compared to some of the other drivers there. There are some drivers in the stock car series who race well into their 80s. People like Red Farmer and that sort of thing, or Rudiman. David Ruben's father, Buzzy Rudiman, still races, and he's well into his 80s. He might be a little older than that. So, kind of cool.
Another name I haven't heard in a while is Mark Martin. Have you seen anything on him?
I did. Yeah, I thought he was on the. He was talking to Kenny Wallace. He was on Kenny Wallace's show. He has his own podcast things. He was on there a few weeks ago. I didn't catch any of it. I know they were talking about NASCAR and the changes. Neither of them are really happy with some of the things that NASCAR has done recently. So, but they have to adapt to it as well, or they get left behind, and that's sort of the attitude NASCAR has sometimes. But they're not as bad into it as Petty. Richard Petty really has some anti-NASCAR sentiment now that he's not afraid of talking about.
Yeah, and I think NASCAR really has to like kind of veer off path to get someone like Richard Petty to be a little bit distasted with NASCAR.
Yeah. Well, like we talked about last week a little bit with Denny Hamlin, he still hasn't decided whether he's going to come back next season. I was a few years off with my estimate for his age, which I apologize, Hamlin. I don't know if he listens. If he does, that's great. But I'm trying to make you a little older, sir. But he did turn 45 this week, so happy birthday, Denny Hamlin. but he has not officially signed up for next year. Like I said, I'm not sure if he's going to be driving or if he's just going to take a supervisory role. I know that the team 2311 is doing some signing for some drivers and some sponsors for next season. I'm going to be hosting a little bit of that as well. So that's good that they're moving forward. They think, and like I said before, the lawsuit seems to be going a little bit more in the team's way now. So we'll see how that goes next year. I don't think that they'll end up leaving. I think that was sort of the fear originally that 2311 and Front Row might end up leaving. I think now there's a better than average shot that they'll be racing, although in what capacity, that's still to be determined within the next month. And even then, I think it might get pushed back. I know they'll fight it out forever if neither side gets what they want.
Yeah. So just to clarify, with how things are going right now, do you see the charter stuff I know we talk about it a lot, but do you see the charter stuff being settled by next NASCAR season?
I think it'll be better than it was this year, but I don't think it'll be settled. No, I think that they'll have a better idea. But I don't think they'll. I think there'll still be people upset. Which if both sides are upset, that's generally a good thing business wise. If neither party is really happy, but if it keeps working, then that's a good thing. So no matter what happens, not everybody's going to be happy. If it goes one way or the other, one side's happier, and that means it's not good for either party in the end. So we'll see how that goes. And I know that there haven't been many updates lately, aside from the fact that they're doing the deposition of Hendrick and Penske. So that's the next big thing. That won't be a public thing, but that will be part of the trial. So we'll see how that pans out, and I'm sure there'll be highlights of that, no matter which way it goes, coming up in the next month.
We've talked about this before, but I guess I need a little bit better understanding for myself. What is at stake here for NASCAR and for the I can't think of the team, but for NASCAR, like, what happens if they lose?
If they lose, they have to reorganize how they distribute money. That's the main thing, because their current thing is like we said a few times before. NASCAR gets a lion's share of the money. They get the money from promotion. They get the money from track ownership. They get the money from being the sanctioning body, and they get the money from television. Right now, they get roughly 2/3 of the money because they own most of the tracks, like 80% of the tracks, maybe even a little higher. And they own, they have the rights, of course, to the sanctioning body, and they own all the employees and everything else that works for them. So, if the charter thing fails, if they have to totally eliminate that and go from scratch, what they're looking for is a way to evenly distribute it, or at least probably make NASCAR take 50% instead of 75%, and then have the team split the other half. I think that's the ultimate thing that they were talking about originally. I don't know if that'll happen, but that's what that was one of the original leaked information things about the lawsuit, that they wanted to split about that way. So that's the big thing. The teams, especially 2311, of course, in Front Row, think that NASCAR. They know that NASCAR gets too much money, and that's the just of the suit is all about money. So,
who do you think from 2311, like, kind of put it together first? Like, who do you think had the first thought of, let's kind of take this to court? Something's not right. You think it was Hamlin?
I think it was Michael Jordan.
Oh, wow.
Because he's had experiences with dealing with baseball, dealing with basketball, with those sort of things, with the collective bargaining agreements that those players have in both those series. And I think he thinks that it should be more like that, where the players, and definitely the players in basketball, but even the players in baseball, make more money now percentage wise than they did more than a few years ago. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh gosh. So, okay, my last question about it, do you potentially see other teams kind of following suit, or do you think the ship's kind of sailed for that?
I think the ship's kind of sailed for that. Although originally they want when the whole lawsuit started, the 2311 with Denny Hamlin spearheading most of that, he wanted the other teams to follow behind him. There were rumors, of course, that other teams were. Um, Maybe not Hendrick and probably not Penske, but other teams aside from them. So it just didn't work out. We've had Rick Ware on the program before. That was one of the rumors that he might have gone along with them, but he never confirmed that, I'm sure. So, and other teams as well. Uh, they know how it goes. They know the team owners know that it'd be better for them if they made a bigger share of the pie than they're getting now, especially from the fact that the expenses keep going up, and and there's no end in sight for that. The expenses keep going up. The gate isn't as good as it used to be, especially for certain events, and so they need more sponsors, which they're getting, which is great. But they also need a better slice of the money that from NASCAR, especially since the money might end up being less with the next negotiation, because their viewership did go down a little bit this season compared to last season.
Well, I will be curious to see how it plays out.
Yeah,
I bet it's stressful.
I'm sure it is, and that's sort of the thing. I think that I just shared the picture there of Joey Logano. I think that Joey Logano losing all of his hair there is sort of a metaphor for what people like Denny Hamlin is doing, pulling out his hair at night because he's scared of what the future might bring, not only for his own career but for the teams as well.
Yeah. Wow.
It's going to be an interesting time. I think that I know in the end they'll work it out, whether it's in one side or the other, or whether both sides. Like I said, if the ultimate best thing that they say about those negotiations, if neither side walks away happy, then they're doing the best thing they can for the sport. So I have hopes that that'll be what happens, but you never know.
No. Nope. All we can do is hope that we find out.
Exactly. So, in addition to like I said, I've been researching other races I might be going to next season. The first one I'm really leaning heavily into right now, of course, is the modified race there at New Smyrna. That I'm going to see about the next 2 weeks, and as soon as that comes out, I'll figure that one. But I'm also thinking about another possible NASCAR race, possibly the Roval there in Charlotte, which would be awesome because I've never seen an actual race there in Charlotte, and that course looks pretty cool. So that's an option. As I said, I was looking to San Diego a little bit, but that's a heck of a long flight, and I don't know if I want to do that, especially just for a race weekend. But at least in Charlotte, it's only a few hours up in the airplane, so that would be kind of cool. And I think they've got a lot of different packages you can do for that. That I've reached out for information for because what I do is I go up there maybe on like a Thursday night, Friday go and tour some of the race shops around the Concord, North Carolina area, and then see the race on Saturday and maybe on Sunday as well. So that's sort of my plan right now. I think that a lot of people do that, and there's a lot of different options if you look up for travel things. They got packages, and they have other different things, so that might be cool. And again, the other races we're probably going to go to would be Sebring and the Roar before the Velux 24. So that's right now. That could change, but we'll see. Those are the ones I'm thinking about at the moment. And of course, I'm thinking about maybe doing the motorcycle weekend because I haven't done that yet, and I've always thought about doing that because that'd be kind of interesting. And the past few years, I've gotten invitations for it, so I did reach out to the guys who've invited me. So we'll see if their invitations still stand for next season. Considering the past 2 years, I haven't been able to go health wise and all that junk, but next year I'm hoping I feel better. I know I feel a heck of a lot better, but hopefully I'm able to walk a little bit better next year, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that sounds nice. Well, not that, the health issues and stuff, but I don't know. I do have one question for you, and it's a little bit off topic, but it popped into my brain. You remind me of somebody that like kind of chases adrenaline a little bit. Have you ever dove out of a plane? Like, have you ever sky? I guess it would be sky dove, but have you ever did that?
No skydiving for me. Not really. I've done roller coasters. I do that sort of thing. I've driven a few a few race cars. I actually drove at the new Smyrna Speedway twice now, so that was pretty awesome. But never done any skydiving things. That there's a lot of opportunities for that down here. They've got the skydiving right around Lake Okeechobee. They've got skydiving that goes in Miami. So a lot of interesting opportunities for that. But no, I'd rather just stay in the plane and not jump out. So,
You don't want to willingly jump out of the plane?
no, that's okay.
I don't blame you. I couldn't do it either. It just sounded like something that I just knew you have done before.
I
So
researched it, yes, but I didn't. I'm not going to jump out of an airplane. I might do something like they've got those sort of simulators where you can do the sky coaster type things. I've thought about that a few times. I actually had an opportunity to do that one time a few years ago, but I didn't do that either. Because when you look at it, you say, "Oh, that's cool," and then you finally think about it and you realize, no, not today. So
not today.
that's, that's sometimes how it goes too. But sometimes you have to. Sometimes if you don't take the leave, you miss out. So eventually, maybe do something like that. But for right now, airplanes are fine. Especially with the fact that the airplanes get delayed, and that's enough stress. I don't need to jump out of an airplane and add additional stress on top of it. So.
That's true. Flying in itself is already a little bit stressful. So you're right. You're right. Just enjoy the ride.
There you go. So, like I said, I'm researching a few different options. I even tossed around the idea of heading out to Portland for the IndyCar race at one point, but I don't know if I'm gonna do that either. Again, that's a heck of a flight, and I'd have to incorporate that into a bigger event, and that I'd have to work out with other people too. So, work out my in-laws and that sort of thing, and see if that could work out. If they did still have the more racing at Portland, that might be a better thing. Formula E seeing out there in Portland would be cool. Xfinity in Portland would be cool. But I know that the IndyCars race in Portland next year. That hasn't been dropped as of yet. So I think that will be a good race out in Portland next year. But I don't know if I'm going to head out there. Again, it really depends on on how things work out credential wise. I might end up applying for that just to see. I'm thinking about heading to St. Pete again. I've mentioned that on this program before too. But that all depends on credentials as well, because I don't want to have to. Basically, I don't want to have to pay for it with the fact that some of those tickets are a little overpriced now, at least in my opinion, compared to what they used to be, especially. But it does look like a neat race. I did post a thing about the Grand Prix of St. Pete. Their tickets do go on sale tomorrow. So if you're interested in attending the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg next year, which does have the Truck Series, which is awesome. Truck Series on a relatively short street course is something you don't see every day. It's been a few years since they've done that, so that could be a really good race. And the ticket prices really aren't that bad, but they are higher than they used to be. But they're not that bad. And if you're interested in heading out there, it is and for like a once in a lifetime thing, or even if you just like going to St. Petersburg, be sure to check that out. Again, that is posted on motorsportsnewsandviews.wordpress.com. Be sure to check that out there. What's your big racing thing? What's the one big racing event that you wish or you're planning on heading to next season?
I'm not sure. I got kind of a lot of things that I wouldn't mind going to. Like the Chili Bowl. I think that would be pretty cool, except for the fact that I don't like to be cold, and I've seen some of the videos. It looks pretty cold. So I that's kind of on my bucket list. I'd like to at least attend one Chili Bowl. I've never attended a World of Outlaw race, and I know we have, I think, one or maybe two tracks not close to me, but a heck of a lot closer than some of these other tracks they go to. So I think that would be cool to check out too, a World of Outlaw race. I don't know. There's a lot of things that I would like to go experience in person. So I don't know. It's just you gotta kind of pick one and make it happen. But I'm not really sure which I would prefer right now. I'm not sure. But I think probably the Chili Bowl. I think I don't know. I see a lot of really neat videos and stuff on that, and that looks really cool. Have you ever seen anything about the Chili Bowl?
I have. Yeah, I've watched coverage of that before. That looks really neat. That's a huge. Um, the the fun part, the interesting part about that is the fact that most of the races are inside. Whether it's it looks like it's sort of a temporary building type thing, the tents or whatever. But it is really an inside event. I understand what you're saying about it being cold. It doesn't look like it's a heated event. It looks like it's out of the weather, so you don't have to worry about the rain or the snow or anything else. So that could be really neat. There's hundreds of cars there. So.
Yeah, a lot of cars. I think, gosh, I don't even know, but yeah, I think I think that's one race that I should probably see in person at least once. I don't know. But maybe, and then again, maybe, I don't know. I don't know, but the Chili Bowl, that I think is, and of course, like the Daytona 500, stuff like that. But I think the Chili Bowl is a little bit more realistic in terms of like something. Oh gosh, I don't know. I'm rambling now. But yes, the Chili Bowl. I would really, really love to catch one Chili Bowl in person. I think that would be neat. Now, if you could go to any race right now or, anything like that, what would you attend?
That's a good question. There's a lot of ups and downs in that. There's a lot of different pros and cons for those sort of events, and I don't know which one I'd like to go. Like I'm saying, I'm thinking about doing the Roval. I think that would be awesome, just because the road course conversion there, the inside the Charlotte Moore Speedway looks pretty interesting, especially with the high bumpers there on the sides. That's kind of cool, and I think if they kept the bumps on the outside of the turns that as high as they used to be, that would be pretty awesome. These people, the NASCAR drivers, need to learn to obey track limits, and I think that by adjusting the curbs, that makes it more challenging. Some of these tracks where they've adjusted the track limits, so the guys basically can run anywhere in the seems like anywhere in the county and still be in the racetrack. That doesn't make for a good race. So these are supposed to be professional drivers, and if they can't stay inside the racetrack, they shouldn't be there. So
True. I could agree with that.
so I think that would be a cool one to. And then I've thought about the Indy 500 at times, but that's just a heck of a lot of people sometimes, and it looks like a lot of walking too. And even when my foot was perfect, I'm not up for miles and miles of walking like that. So
Yeah, me either. That's I don't know. But you could get one of those like cool like power scooter type things, and or get one with like those little I seen a power scooter that had I can't think of what it's called. I think it's called tracks or whatever, like the I can't think of like the machinery, but how they don't have like wheels. It had like tracks, and I think that would be cool. Then you could go anywhere.
there you go. Yeah, I've actually seen an ad for something like that recently because they've got with all the Christmas stuff, they've got all those little scooter things, and I saw one with the tank tread type things there on it. That looked a little bit much. So yeah. It's enough fun running around on those on the cheap little free ones you can go do in the grocery stores. So.
True, true. Some of those get going pretty good too. The little cheap ones in the grocery stores.
Exactly, that's it. But it should be like I said, it should be I'm looking forward to next season. It should be a really fun year of racing. There's a lot of great stuff going on. Like I said, we went through the schedules a little bit, so that looks kind of neat. Um, some of it you might have to look for a little bit different because the TV schedules aren't as well defined as they used to be. But you can find it if you're looking for it. Whether you have to look for it online, you can some stuff other places, but and of course, the best way to do it is to head out to the racetrack if you have the opportunity. That's what I'd always recommend. So be sure to do that. Plan at least one weekend of the races next year. You won't regret it.
No. Now, do you think if everybody, well, I can't say everybody, but if everyone just planned one race weekend and they went out and they went to whatever race it was and they supported it for one weekend, do you think that would be kind of enough to I don't want to say the sport's dying, but we always talk about how, you know, like we need different people that are kind of interested in it. Do you think if everybody picked just one race weekend to attend, do you think that would be enough for people to start attending more?
Yeah, and the simple answer, yes. Even if no matter what sort of race, if you go to a Formula One race, which I had the opportunity to go to last year, even though it was just the one day, um, even if you just go to a Formula One race, you can see things that you don't normally see. You can see stuff on that you don't see on TV, and of course, Formula One races are all about the experience. Um, so just like it's almost as much a fashion show and people watching thing as is the guys going around in circles on the track. But even that changes your perspective, and you understand that at least most people will understand what the draw is. And if you head out to one race and you enjoy it, that's great. If you don't head out to one race, and you don't. If you head out to one race and you don't enjoy it, you can say you've gone, and at least you can understand the appeal for some people, and that's really what. So yeah, I think that if you're that everybody who has the ability should head out to at least one race next year, one race period, no matter what. If it's a small track, if it's a big track, if it's a medium-sized track, if it's a track with famous people or a track with people you run into in the grocery store on a Saturday morning, no matter where you go, it'll be. It's definitely a good way to spend time. It's a good way to support the community. It's a good way to see um, a little bit different side of the world, and it's a good way just to have fun. And that's what everything should be about, is having fun in the end.
I agree. I agree. And I think I liked what you said about, that maybe they would see why it kind of appeals to people. And I think that's important. It's one of those things that like maybe you shouldn't judge until you've seen it in person and then you can kind of decide. But it's kind of, I don't know. There's a lot of people out there that don't understand just how cool like motorsports as a whole really is, and it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of sad because they're missing out. They really are.
It is, and not only, like I said, not we branched out a little bit last week where we talked about horse racing. Even horse racing has gone, um, all racing for that matter, has gone down to the point where there's not as much support as there used to be for the horse racing, for the harness tracks. There aren't. I don't think there's any harness tracks in this part of the state anymore. There used to be quite a few. Like I said, last weekend they had the race there at Sunshine Meadows. This week they've got another one coming up on Saturday, so it seems like that's becoming a fairly frequent thing. So if you're able, go ahead and head out to Sunshine Meadows and Delray Beach. I did post another piece about that today. Again, another shout out to Motorsports News and Views at WordPress.com. Be sure to check that out. But it's about one of the drivers is undefeated, and he's 49 years old. He's been racing for more than 20 years. He's never lost a race. So
Oh wow.
that's a pretty cool thing too. And like I stated, I hope we get a chance to talk to some of the drivers there in the future on this show. I've reached out to the PR guy, and we'll see if that happens. But again, all racing is interesting. If you, no matter whether it's behind the car or in a motorcycle or snowmobiles, which is a big thing right now, or of course horse racing, just check it out. It's fun. You'll have a good time, and you'll enjoy it. And for horse racing, sometimes you can make a little bit of money. So there you go.
True.
Heck, you can make money on the auto racing too if you're into that. A lot of the auto racing, especially NASCAR racing, they've got the sponsors. The Hard Rock Bets is now the main sponsor of the Daytona 500. So there you go.
Oh wow.
Mhm. Uh, the world's a changing place, of course, and if you don't, you have to embrace it at least a little bit. But things can get overboard for gambling things too. But as long as you're having fun, that's the important thing. You don't spend more than you can afford, and just go with it. And there you go.
True. True.
So that's the main draw there in Las Vegas for the Formula One guys. So um, again, hopefully that's a good race. I know that they got off to a weird start there a few years ago. Last year it was a little bit better. This year, hopefully, it's even better. I know they've got some great events taking place out there. Again, to reach back to the T-Mobile announcement today, they've got the T-Mobile actually has a, a fancy hospitality thing inside the Sphere there. So be sure to check that out. There's competitive rates for that. Be sure to check that. That's on. I've got information about that online as well. Be sure to look at that. So, with that, hopefully I gave you some ideas on what to do next year. Possibly some. Oh, the big thing I'm doing for the motorsports interviews next week. I might be doing a few Black Friday special things for some shopping deals for race tickets as well as for other deals in go-karts and that sort of thing. So be sure to check that out. Also some t-shirt deals and other things motorsports related, some of them sponsors and that sort of thing. Again, we're going to be talking about that next week. So be sure to look for that on motorsportsnewsandviews.wordpress.com. Might even post some of that to the Facebook page at facebook.com/SD Thursday Night Thunder. And with that, be sure to check out past episodes of Thursday Night Thunder by visiting facebook.com/SD Thursday Night Thunder. Listen to previous episodes of this show at Thursday Night Thunder Podcast.podbean.com. That's the easiest way, most effective way. It gives you a little bit more information about the show by visiting there. But you can also find us on various streaming platforms such as Podchaser, iHeartRadio, Boomplay, Spotify, and Player FM. You can also find us on Amazon now, so be sure to look for it there. And Apple also has information about the show there. So, and of course, you can go to youtube.com/4plums. I do have a full listing of the show there, including some past episodes from our previous incarnation with Speedway Digest. Be sure to check that out. If you'd like to support the show more, be sure to check out the fan club feature on the Podbean app. Now, the easiest way to do that is go to facebook.com/SD Thursday Night Thunder. Got more information at the top of the page. I also invite you to check out my news and racing information site at motorsportsnewsandviews.wordpress.com. Like I stated earlier, I've done a lot of updating to that today. There'll be a little bit more tomorrow, and hopefully a little bit more this weekend. So be sure to check that out. A lot of information about the sports car racing there in Las Vegas, as well as some information about IndyCar, IMSA, and some NASCAR announcements. Plus a few different profile changes with some behind-the-scenes people. Be sure to check that out there. In addition, if you're a fan of South Florida, and who isn't, be sure to check out the latest news and information about our slice of paradise at my travel blog, Football Plums Fantastic Finds. It can be found on Facebook, on Twitter, at Football Plums or at PB Happening, and by heading to Football Plums Fantastic Finds. That's FABORPLUMBS Fantastic Finds.wordpress.com.
Thank you for listening, and we look forward to seeing you again next week in the Thunderdome as we discuss the major issues in the world of modern auto racing.
Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody, and thanks again.